easy.
Welcome in, everyone. Tyler Reddick is your 2026 Daytona 500. William Byron could not do it. Welcome in, everybody. This is the 6:45 show. Aaron Baum to the, I guess, right of me, but on the screen, the left. And then I am the 45, Derek Jewett. We are back, baby. Season 2. We're gonna do this every single time. We're dedicated. Ain't that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if this is your first time joining, welcome in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, notification, everything. We talk everything NASCAR related with the truck, the O'Reilly series, which I actually got. I didn't stumble that time. The Cup Series, and then we also do league racing stuff and iRacing stuff, so we'll be talking about iRacing. This is presented by Non-Temple Designs. If you need a paint scheme on iRacing, go to nontempledesigns.com. Follow Colton Loomis at Non-Temple Designs on Instagram and Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. Aaron, what a 500 we just witnessed.
What's it like coming from a Tyler Reddick fan? What's it like?
And we'll get into the full review here. But coming off the 500 win, I could have swore Chase Elliott was going to win. I thought they were going to throw the caution because, come on, he's the baby face, the franchise, the moneymaker, the everybody wants to be named Chase Elliott in America.
They were dusting off that bell in Dawsonville.
Down
the horn.
I was like, "Yep, here comes the caution." NASCAR's going to throw it, and I mean, when they got him off 2, I was like, "Okay, like Tyler has a chance," and then I was like, "No, he doesn't have a chance," and then I was like, "Oh, he has a chance! Oh my God, he has a chance! Oh my God, he just punted Chase Elliott out of the way." This is amazing. It was great. But yeah, like I said, we're going to go and we're going to talk about the Truck Series, the O'Reilly Series, the Cup Series, then we'll get caught up with our Mystic Racing League, all the iRacing stuff we've done during the off-season. We won't go too much into the off-season stuff with the lawsuit and, of course, the death of Michael Annett and Greg Biffle. And then Denny Hamlin's father. I know they talked about that throughout the entire day, which I was happy that they brought it up, but then it kind of just got, you ever leave a cracker out for an extended period of time, and it gets real stale, and then it gets stale, and then it gets stale, and then it's like beating a dead horse. Like, I don't know how many times you got to bring up that his dad died. We'll
get into that. We'll have a broadcast grade at the end for you guys.
Yes, I am the professor. I already got my grades. He has not seen it. And then we'll also have a franchise section where we talk about the 6, which is this man's favorite driver, Brad Keselowski, crip walking all around Daytona this weekend.
We've been loving watching that. We've been loving the crip walk.
And then, of course,
the edits of him and the cane getting around the garage.
And then, of course, I'm a Tyler Reddick fan, so we won't be too biased until we get to the franchise. But let's get to the off season. Like I said, we're not going to get too much into it. NASCAR 2311 Front Row Motorsports had their slugfest of a lawsuit in the court system. They ended up reaching an agreement where They have permanent charters. Everyone has a permanent charter. However, Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibb Racing are grandfathered in. They are the only two teams to have 4 charter drivers. So you have Chase Elliott, Carl Larson, Alex Bowman, and William Byron for Hendrick Motorsports, and then you have Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe. I said him twice. Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs. Everyone else is a 1-car, 2-car, 3-car team. They can have, like 2311 had today, they can have a part-time driver, which is Corey Heim, which I still believe Corey Heim deserves to be in the 35, not the 67, but we'll get to that some point. And then of course, a couple weeks later, we have the tragic death of Michael Annett. I believe he had some type of form of cancer that was not public to anyone. And then literally a week later, the tragic loss of Greg Biffle and his family and the pilots that were on there. And then literally the next week or the week after that, Denny Hamlin's house, his family's house, parents' house, burned to the ground. He lost his dad, who was battling OCP, I think OPD, OCP.
Yeah, COPD.
COPD. I knew it was one of the, yeah. So he was battling that. 75 years old, passed away. And while he was in the rubble looking for some stuff, towards rotator cuff yet again. So Denny Hamlin is not off to a great start. But Daytona week, we're not really going to talk about the Clash. Okay, we'll talk about it a little bit. This man right here, RFK, he appreciates the Ryan Preece. So congratulations on Ryan Preece winning the Clash. That was...
One quick 30-second thing about the Clash. I want to give a shout-out to Burt Myers and Team Amerivet. That getting grandfathered in just because you were the king of the Madhouse is super cool. I have a friend who is in the family of Burt Myers. Sent me a bunch of merch, sent me the die cast from last year's Clash attempt with CitraSafe. So shout out to Burt Myers, and I do appreciate him for winning that because RFK needed some good luck. I mean, we needed something from somebody. Corey LaJoie we thought was going to work out in the duels until it didn't. But yeah, so off season has been crazy. And amidst all that, as an RFK, as a Greg Biffle fan, diehard guy, I was on the phone with Derek when it happened, when I got the news, and many tears were shed that day, and it was just, it still didn't even seem real. But amidst all that, Brad Keselowski breaks his freaking leg and goes into surgery. Like, as the Greg Biffle tragedy is unfolding, wakes up on the other side of that. They have to let him know what the heck happened. It's been a crazy off season. There's probably been another thing or two that I'm forgetting, but yeah, a lot to catch up on. But I'm sure you guys have all heard about it. It's been all over the news. We sure let you know about Denny Hamlin's father last year when he came into the spotlight with his sickness, and with Denny Hamlin running for the championship and making a deep run. As far as I'm concerned, he won the championship. He was not passed in the 312 laps or whatever it is, but anyway, yeah, big off season. Lots to get into for this season. And all right, partner, where do you want to start off?
First thing first, they changed the point system and how the playoff. It's not going to be called playoff anymore. It's going to be called the chase. So still 16 drivers. Big. Winning still matters. You get, I think a 20-point buffer compared to second place if you win. They still have stages, which we'll get into the Daytona 500 stages. I have a big opinion on that. But yeah, big news on that. They're not doing the win and you're in and the elimination, and the last race is how you crown a champion. I think that was... I like the win and you're in. I like the elimination. I did not like, and I think a lot of people didn't like, the fact that it came down to one race. Kyle Larson was very mediocre during the entire playoff run last year, and he won a championship without even leading a lap. He didn't make it like you said, Denny Hamlin was not. He was the leader of the entire championship 4 up until that caution came out. So, very, very sad. I am right there with you. I am a Denny bro, in my opinion. I like to say that.
You too.
But yeah, let's get into the truck race. First things first, Mini Tyrell makes his debut. He wins the Ram Challenge. I think it was, I don't know. I didn't watch it. But Mini Tyrell comes from the Cars Tour, and he gets a full-time ride with Call of Racing, wins that challenge, and has a poor performance, to say the least.
Yeah.
He
How
did
did
not do good.
how did all the other Ram trucks do? I knew that Tony Stewart got into something. I knew that Tyrell got into something, but I knew there was a ton of Ram trucks. Where'd they all end up finishing?
That I do not know off the top of my head, but you did say Tony Stewart. Yep, the three-time NASCAR Cup champion, Tony Stewart, came out of retirement, piloting the number 25, and like you said, he wrecked. That was not the greatest thing. Chandler Smith, he wins after a late race drama and shuffle with a bunch of wrecks. Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar, Justin Haley led a significant amount of laps, but failed to finish the top 10. Cletus McFarlane was an early crash. I know you wanted him to do good and not win for the Biff, but he spun out on lap 6, just got loose, and gave an infamous I guess interview or a quote saying that Carson Hocevar told him that, hey, don't you can't get in the wreck if you cause a wreck. Well, he caused and was in the wreck and was the only person to wreck. So
And finished dead last.
yes, Travis Strana was in it. Love Travis Strana. I believe he finished in the top 15. Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to watch it because we were in a league race during that day, which I wish I wasn't in the league race, which we'll get into. But the now formerly known NASCAR Xfinity Series, now known as the NASCAR O'Reilly Series, it is going to get a while to get used to. I just like how people went from Busch to Nationwide and Nationwide to Xfinity, and now it's going to be Xfinity to O'Reilly's. That one I did watch, and I'm sure you watched too. That one was very, 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 very fun to watch. I'll have you talk about it because you're a big O'Reilly guy. This is the first time I'm going to try to watch almost every single race this year. But you watched most, if not all, of the O'Reilly Series race last year. So give me what you thought and give me some pointers because Carson Quabble should have won that race.
He has the meats. He is too busy toting his meat around. It's too heavy for
You're
him.
an asshole making me spill my fucking drink.
You're lucky about spraying champagne on you down there in the 45 booth. By the way, Truck Series race, highest finishing Ram truck was Brendan Queen in his debut, finishing 7th.
Brandon
So
Queen.
good run. Good run
Butterbean.
from Queen, yeah, Butterbean Queen. Then Daniel Dye 17th. Minnie Tyrell finished 19th in Dodge for the Dodge Ram team. Haley 22nd. Then scroll way down to find Tony Stewart in 36th. But for the O'Reilly series, oh my goodness. See, I thought I was going to slip up and say Xfinity series because I've been saying Xfinity series car on, iRacing or whatever. But I have so much respect for that race yesterday and how those cars are. I am not gonna mix it up. And I'm gonna say O'Reilly Series because they deserve it. First of all, I love the fact that it's a car part company sponsoring it, just like Craftsman, like it's just manly, tools and stuff like that. Xfinity, it's like internet, you know what I mean? Like it's not really, race car related except maybe pit road internet.
Well,
But
yeah, I mean they provide that, and then in the lawsuit they pay, the teams pay like almost $1 million for Wi-Fi that doesn't work, and I mean I'm right there with you, right there with them. Like I go to the track and I'm like I have no service whatsoever. How do they get service? And turns out they have shitty service too, so it's great.
yep.
But go
Yeah,
ahead.
I always wondered that. I always wondered that. I was like, how is it? Well, it's just not working for them either. Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Yeah.
Um, But man, the O'Reilly race. First of all, I'm a big Jesse Love guy. Big fan of the Love Machine. I got my Love Machine merch, my Love Machine signed hat. Uh, but I love the O'Reilly series for the sake that it's as high as you can get with it still being the top level guys, top series equipment, and then you have the guys that work out of their stuff in their own backyards and in their own garages. Like that still comes to the track, and Daytona is a great culmination of top teams and guys that are still trying to make it. Anthony Alfredo had a horrible weekend, by the way. I mean, that was felt really bad for him on all accounts. But yeah, where do I begin? So O'Reilly Series race is awesome. Everybody's talking about the handling. That is the big story, is that the cars are not handling great, which makes for awesome TV. When the cars went three wide in the O'Reilly Series, I legitimately was nervous. I thought that something was going to happen any given turn, any given corner. Cup Series race, I know they can go four wide, and I'm not really nervous. It's just, is anybody going to be too stupid and push too hard? It's not really like a handling issue. But the O'Reilly Series cars, man, they handle so poorly, especially when you're getting side drafted. Daytona is also an aging racetrack now too. Took it 15 years for it to start to show some age and character, and it provided an awesome race to watch. The fastest car won, unfortunately. Austin Hill had the fastest car. He won the pole, and he was able to drive from the back to the front and just carve through everybody. Because RCR has it figured out when it comes to super speedway racing. All the stuff they won from Dale and all those guys back in the day. That stuff still applies in O'Reilly Series cars. Those tips and tricks and massaging certain things in drafts still applies in that race car. So they have um, a great database for it. And yeah, fastest car won. There were some big wrecks. It was very exciting. Um, yeah, it was good to see Raja Caruth up there. I thought he was doing some good stuff. It was exciting to see him up there. Uh, but yeah, handling was an issue, and it was awesome to watch, and it made me remember how much I missed that kind of racing.
Yeah, we talked about how last year that the O'Reilly series is probably the best way to get somebody to enjoy a race. Everybody's on rails. Everybody is trying to hold on, and it is very aero dependent, unlike the Cup cars, where if you get up, not even up on the back bumper of somebody, you can manipulate on how their car handles. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great race until I fell asleep. Um, which we'll get into the Daytona 500 because I fell asleep during that one too. I'm an old man, sorry. But yeah, Corey Day, spitting, and boy, oh boy, did he get really lucky. If that wall was extended any further, he would have pancaked the absolute F out of that car.
Yeah,
But
he was.
the fact that he came out and only bent up the left rear fender, it wasn't that bad in my opinion. But these guys, man, I thought they were going to take it like the Cup guys, where they were going to handle it and try to just stay two by two, if not single file, until the last five laps of stage, and then rack them up back to single file or double file, not really make any moves at stage two, and then 5 laps to go, make a move. Then the same thing in stage three, the final stage, single file until the last 5 laps. But no, these guys were like, no, I want to be the leader. I want to split these RCR guys up. I think that was maybe the biggest thing of like, how could we control the race and not let Jesse Love and the 21 of Austin Hill control this race. And that was the problem. That was the issue, that no one could really separate them. And if they got separated, they were still fast. They were still controlling the race. Yeah, it was crazy. Not there was a ton of wrecks. They even wrecked before the green flag was even out.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah, yeah.
but
Huge wreck.
yeah, it was a huge wreck. Throughout the entire night. It was very interesting. I didn't get to see the ending of the race because work makes some boys really sweepy. Okay,
Mhm.
so yeah, give me the rundown of what happened in stage three.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, there was a giant wreck, and I'm not sure if you've seen it, but now Natalie Decker, ARCA braking, trying to shoot the gap on the top side. Sam Mayer has nothing. He has no control of his car in any capacity. He's going up the hill right as she's trying to squeeze up by the wall, and it's absolutely smokes her. I would be pissed too because I've keyed up the microphone in iRacing races, and I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, why didn't you press your brakes?" So I've done that, seeing Natalie Decker get shit online for something that I've said before. But yeah, Sam Mayer had no control of that car. Big wreck. Jeremy Clements involved in that. Like I said, Natalie Decker was involved in that. Corey Day, like you said, dude, that was like I thought he saved it at initial glance. I thought he missed it entirely. I was like, oh wow, and then you see that no, it was actually torn up and kind of driving kind of funky for him. He got saved though because that rear end of Corey Day's, it was so like bent in and pushed in. There was no rigidity to it, so he caught a bad push from somebody, but instead of like spinning him, it just kind of like wet cardboard pushed in and it didn't affect him. So I was like, wow, he would have got right hooked any other time, but it actually saved him.
How about Ryan Sieg at the beginning, blowing that tire, and he was up on the third lane and kept sticking his hand out
Yeah.
and was like, "Hey, like I gotta get down," and everybody was like, what's going on here?" Like,
Yeah, rock paper scissors shoot.
right? Yeah,
Shoot.
yeah. But that was, I mean, like for a series that gets crapped on when it goes to short track racing, when it comes to play track racing, or sorry, super speedway racing, that was very talented. I mean, he had a left rear down, like it wasn't just a little bit soft or a little bit no, that tire was completely down, and he came from the wall. He was in the third lane, got down to the second lane, got down to the third lane. Nobody wrecked, and they just kept on going. So that was great.
Yeah, he was sparking. Yeah, he was on the damn.
He was on the wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he ended up finishing third too. I mean,
Yeah.
great job holding that together. I mean, you never know. Ryan Sega's a wheelman. I mean, he's been a wheelman for ages now. We have Sammy Smith finishing top five. Also, that's a big run for him in the eight. I mean, um, didn't really see him much of the day. Honestly, I didn't really see much of him, but good job for him. Carson Quapple, your guy, finishing seventh place. That's a good run for him. He needs that. He's a guy that needs to start out hot. I think Carson Quapple. You run into certain personalities, right? Like you come across guys that are kind of soft spoken, guys that are really talented, but they won't really let you know it. I think that if Carson Quapple can start on the front foot and get that ball rolling, I think we'll see his true potential. I think that's a guy that you can really see do really good and finish in the top 10 every single week. But I feel like if he's feeling like he has to scratch and claw, I'm in good equipment, I should be finishing better than I am. I think that's when things can kind of unravel. But I think a great finish for him, seventh place. I think moving on to next week, string another one together. Jesse Love, P9. Blaine Perch Perkins, P8. Good run for him. And Raja Caruth rounds out the top 10. I mean, good run for all those guys. Raja Caruth has the fastest lap of the race at a 47.08. So good job for him in the 88 car, Junior Motorsports. So that's
Yeah.
just awesome. I'm excited for next week at Atlanta. That's going to be a hell of a race. Atlanta's already showing some age. These cars at basically a smaller Daytona is going to be insane.
Yeah, and like my question is, we go into the season opener for how many years now? This is the fourth year in a row Austin Hill has basically won Daytona, or RCR has won Daytona. How do you stop it? Do you just blatantly just right hook him and like take him out? I don't know how you stop him. Like he's fast only on the super speedways. He's the only good super speedway. You go to Bristol, he's finishing maybe top 10, top 15. If he's not intentionally wrecking people at Indy, he might be running the top 5. Yeah, pretty much. If you're listening to the podcast, Aaron is sitting in his chair, and he just yanked his wheel to the right and right hooked somebody. But yes, I mean, how if you are a crew chief, how do you go into 2027 and be, you're the crew chief of Carson Quapple, let's just say. How do you coach him and say, hey, look, Austin Hill, Jesse Love, RCR guys are the two guys to beat. This is what you need to do.
I mean, that's a great question because I feel like that's the question everybody has, right? I think your only hope is that Austin Hill's suspended from the year before and he misses Daytona. I mean, Jesse Love, this is very biased, but on the behalf of the RCR guys kicking ass, Jesse Love was blocking both lanes from P2. He was being Dale Jr. from the second place, giving Austin Hill just, hey man, I got you. I'll just manage everything back here. I think Jesse kind of likes being sawing at the wheel and going back and forth, and Austin's just in his mirror like, all right, man, appreciate you. So if you're able to somehow be as crazy and aggressive as Jesse was going, as the crew chief even said, he's like, man, you're going crazy up there, going lane to lane doing all the heavy lifting. Austin Hill didn't have to deal with a whole lot. And then when Austin gets back in the pack from I think it was a bad pit stop or something happened to him, and he just knew if I can carve it up to at least where Jesse is, I can kind of mix it up. And then sure enough, I mean, I don't know how you I don't know I don't know because if you build speed into the race car, there's going to be no handling. Where it's like, okay, we're just going to outpace him. We're just going to be really speedy. You're not going to handle well. You dial a lot of handling and you're going to be slow. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not in the position of anybody else on Xfinity or O'Reilly Series pit road. Pit road.
Shame, shame, penalty box.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know either. That is, I mean, you might as well just say you're racing for second place. But we got to hit our first ad break here, and then we'll talk about the Daytona 500, and then we'll get into the grades. So the first things first, we want to give a huge shout out to Non-Typical Designs, who does all of our paint schemes every single week. I am very, very excited. So yeah, shout out to Colton Loomis. If you're an iRacing and you need a paint scheme that looks and feels default, we need to talk. Colton Loomis, the guy behind Non-Typical Designs, he's a self-taught graphic designer who specializes in racing paint schemes that look legit. He recreated real-world NASCAR schemes and builds custom designs that look like they belong under the lights on a race tonight, just like the ones you see on your screen. He works full time in another industry and still grinds on this because he genuinely loves racing and designing. If you want a paint scheme that turn heads before you even take the green, Non-Typical Designs is where you go. NonTypicalDesigns.com. Follow Non-Typical Designs on Instagram and Twitter or X. Tell Colton Loomis that we sent you. And to Aaron.
yeah. Just want to thank Colton for all that he does for us. I mean, he puts us in the hottest looking paint schemes in iRacing, in my opinion. Anytime I'm watching a broadcast on V Speed or on Green Flag TV, I'm always looking at me and Derek's paint scheme because our eyes are just naturally drawn to it because they're that spectacular. So, directing all traffic to Colton Loomis and Non-Typical Designs. See down below for his work.
And we're going to go ahead and get into the new California. He didn't get the memo. First time first. Yeah. So today's episode, also want to give a huge shout out to New California Coffee Essentials. They're not just another coffee supplier. They're built on passion and purpose. After seeing way too many cafes stuck with overpriced, low-quality milk alternatives, they decided to raise the standard. New California Coffee Essentials connects coffee shops with clean, plant-based products that actually work beautifully in a cup. No gimmicks, no compromise. They believe in quality first, partnerships over transactions, and supporting local coffee communities every step of the way. If you are about better ingredients, better coffee, and building something that matters, that's New California Coffee Essentials. Go to newcaliforniacoffee.co to find some local and plant-based delicious coffee essentials that you need. I got you.
Amen to that partner. Amen to that partner.
I got
Couldn't
you.
have done it better myself.
All right. And then lastly, want to give a huge shout out to Deutsch. And yes, I'm saying it right, okay? Let's just address it. Yes, it's called Deutsch. And no, it's not what you're thinking. It started out as a joke in high school cafeteria and somehow turned into clean, ridiculous, good cookie dough that actually fuels you instead of slowing you down. Packed with plant-based protein, low sugar, real ingredients, this stuff hits the sweet spot without a sugar crash that makes you regret your life decisions. No junk, no weird stuff, just damn good, tasty snacking dough. Plus, they support awesome causes like Best Buddies, Help Cure HD with every purchase. So if you're going to obsess over a snack, make it Deutsch. And not only are they giving you 20% off using discount code 645 show, you can eat this raw or you could bake it. And boy oh boy, I love me some raw cookie dough. Ain't that right?
I completely agree, partner. How about you take yourself some Deutsch cookie dough, get yourself a nice spoonful, suck that down, then you take that same spoon and you stir your new California coffee essentials right into your mug.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then you're getting that beautiful paint scheme done and watching Colton Loomis do it. Let's get into the Daytona 500. Duels. Not really going to talk about it because we didn't watch it because we were in our own league race. I think Joey Logano won Duel 1. Duel 2, I can't remember off the top of my head who won. I should know. Yeah, I don't know. But doesn't matter. Duels just they set up the lineup. That's it. You know, nothing biggie. Biggest news was
Biggest news was, you're probably going to say it, but I'm going to mention Corey LaJoy was an entry for RFK Racing, and he was doing great in his duel until he didn't, and he missed the show in the 99 machine. So that was unfortunate. But what were you going to say, partner?
big show was Anthony Alfredo making it, but getting disqualified because he had his hose attached to his helmet taped because it wasn't properly attaching to his helmet.
That was the reason.
So that was the reason they deemed it unsafe. So they took his qualifying lap away, which was killer. We get into the Daytona 500. Rain forecasted in the area. They bumped it up. It was supposed to start at 1:30 Central Time, 2:30 Eastern Time. Green flag didn't wave until like 1:50, almost 2 o'clock Central Time. So how can you say it starts at 1:30 but it actually starts at 2? Okay, not sure how that works. But they had Bart Simpson, some random dude dressed up as Bart Simpson, waving the green flag. Puka Nacua. This is the Super Bowl for NASCAR. So you have Puka Nacua, Bart Simpson, you have Bert Kreischer, Kurt Russell, some comedian doing the Start Your Engines, which I've never heard of. But I thought the race was going to be the slot car 500, as we said last year, where it just everybody stays on the bottom, half throttle, no big deal. It kind of got to that point. There was an early caution. I can't remember what the caution was for, where they ended up having to basically everybody pitted besides Kyle Busch. I can't remember who caused the wreck or who caused the first caution, but everybody pitted besides Kyle.
BJ McLeod broke an axle.
That's right. Yes.
Yep. So I bet Anthony Alfredo was like, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They let this guy in and he can't even drive with it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it got a little wild. And I will say it. I still believe they need to do it. As much as I love Tyler Reddick and him winning the 500, it's not as big as it used to be, and it's because the fuel saving. If you do what you did with the road courses last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, where you still get stage points, there's still stages, but there's no caution, problem solved. You don't have to add. You don't have to add another stage because that was something that they were talking about during the off season. Oh, we'll just add another stage. That doesn't help anything. It doesn't because you're still gonna have the same thing. If you just don't throw a yellow unless people wreck, problem solved. People are going to drive like they need to. They're probably still gonna save, but like, hey, would you rather save and lose bonus points or go up to the top, try to figure out how to get to the front and stay in the front and figure out fuel strategy then win some stage points and we'll figure out the whole fuel later. Yeah, I want the stage points. I want the points. And I think that's something that NASCAR should look at. I know a lot of people are complaining about, saving fuel. It didn't look too crazy today. It didn't look that bad today. And I think maybe they talked about that during some type of meeting of like, hey, we want you guys to go out there and like entertain the fans, not just sit around, single file and doing that. But I wanted to get your
Yeah.
opinion on it.
Yeah, I completely agree. It didn't seem as egregious as it was in previous years. Maybe, like you said, maybe there was some. All right, guys, let's at least go. The first stage was at least pretty hardcore. Like it seemed like people were going pretty hard in stage one, so maybe there was like a hey, at least go hard off the jump here because it was definitely a difference than last year's 500. They were saving off of the second the green flag dropped. They got up to speed, got in their lines, and they were saving. So I was very thankful to see that. Um, and I think it was only really the last stage three, there was really aggressive fuel saving in the 60% throttle range. I know they showed Corey Heim and Bubba's throttles at like 60%, just trying to save fuel, which that I understand. Like that makes sense to me. If you're in the final stage, you have 100 laps or whatever, there isn't a foreseeable caution, and okay, I get that. But yeah, it was definitely a lot better in terms of the pace. Definitely looked a lot more natural. Looked like definitely more of a race than the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah, like I said, stage. I watched stage one. I watched stage two, and there was that big wreck where Austin Dillon just obliterated the 19. I don't know what he was thinking. There was somebody got hooked. Chase Briscoe was sliding through the grass. You would think if you see smoke, not to drive through the smoke, drive around the smoke. Austin Dillon just decided, I see smoke. I want to know what's cooking. And boy, oh boy, did he know what was cooking. It was some Bass Pro Shop. Bass Pro Shop on
Yeah.
Bass Pro Shop. But after stage two, I kind of just started dozing off and dozing off and dozing off. And eventually I was lights out. And I didn't wake up until 50 laps left. So I assume nothing really happened because
I'll take us through the parts that you missed, partner, to fill in some of the gray areas. Uh, just going through some of the highlights. Yeah, like you said at the beginning, we had that wreck where everyone besides Kyle Busch came. He actually faked super late. He like, pulled out like way late.
I thought he was going to get black
And I
flagged.
thought he was too. I thought he was too. So seeing that, and then eventually he comes down. I think 4 laps later, I think it was, he comes down and gets fuel, and they all talked about it. But Um, yeah, so there was a big moment in lap 35, lap 36 ish. Kyle Busch gets loose, mentioning Daytona starting to age a little bit. It's good that the next gen cars are at least starting to show a little bit. But the unfortunate thing, and you know this as good as I do, these next gen cars, they don't allow you to counter steer. If you have to steer to the right, you're a dead man. So all they're going to do, instead of letting these cars handle free and be fast, all they're going to do is make them just super duper tight and super draggy. So it's just going to be, the handling at Daytona, yeah, the track may be aging, but I feel like they're just going to dial in a bunch of just drag and grip into the next gen car. So, Kyle Busch gets loose, which was awesome to see, except he got loose right on top of the six. Shoulder checked the six down. Great save by Brad. Thank goodness. I audibly yelled, "Oh my God!" Because I had Brad on in car here in the HBO, and I had the broadcast on. So that was something crazy that kind of happened that I feel like it thankfully it didn't cause a bigger wreck because he could have came back up and he could have killed a bunch of people. But so yeah, stage one pretty chill, pretty chill. Not a whole lot from in terms of just like chaos and panic from what I can remember. I remember William Byron got put in the fence a couple of times. He was kind of all over the place in a bad way. Like he was getting kind of squirted into the wall, then he'd kind of come back down and try to block again. It's like he's 20 miles an hour off the pace. It's like, I know you won this last 2 years. I thought he had a chance to win at the end too. I really did. William Byron kind of went through the ringer, and then he still somehow had a chance to win at the end. That's all I could really remember from stage one being anything catastrophic was those couple incidents, those near accidents. Um, Everyone got through their green flag pit cycles fine, and yeah, stage two, a little bit more action, I reckon. A little bit more action. There was talks of weather coming in, and at least I know in the six radio, they were saying that rain. Well, we're definitely going to at least get past halfway. That was the talk. Was we'll at least get past halfway. And thank goodness, I'm glad we got the race all in. I'm glad they moved it up, however long they needed to. That would have sucked. That would have even sucked the yearning for the sport out for me. Had it got rained out or had it gotten shortened. Here we go, another crappy, this or that. But I'm glad it went how it went. I'm glad the 45 won. I was yelling at the TV. Allison was sitting here, and I was like, I know Derek's so happy, but I was so excited for you. Uh, I also want to mention something that almost forgot to mention. John Hunter Nemechek did a great job in stage one. He led a ton of laps, and he did a great job up there. Like kind of a man without a country, just legacy motor club guy up there. Everyone, whether they're saving gas off him or whatever, but he did a great job changing lanes and getting his car up front for many many minutes in a row. So that was a good job by him. I wanted to shout him out.
Yeah, stage one was, like you said, pretty chill. Stage two was where most of the action and the wrecks happened. Um, like I said, fell asleep at the beginning of stage three. I woke up with 15 to go. That's when the pit strategies and everything was happening, and green flag pit stops. Uh, Enough to where people started getting really aggressive, and the 67 with about, I want to say 10 laps to go, 67, Corey Heim, driver of the 2311, pushing his boss, the 11 of Denny Hamlin, and hits his teammate Christopher Bell into the wall. Not great for Corey Heim, but it is his first Daytona 500, so I'm sure they give him a little bit of slack. But that brought out the last caution, which was a 6-lap shootout, where Michael McDowell, who did not pit, he was the only driver not to pit during that green flag pit stops. I think he was out for 56 laps, is what they were saying. And he was shutting the car off. They said that he was good to go unless they go into overtime. And had his teammates, Carson Hocevar, pushing him. Tyler Reddick was up there. Chase Elliott was up there. Zane Smith, who won stage one, was up there. That was crazy. And
fan, Zane Smith.
Congratulations on being the 2024 Chicago Bears, by the way. Yeah, so we're not a football show, but yeah, I remember sitting there and just watching everything unfolding. Tyler Reddick controlling the bottom and then controlling the middle and then back to controlling the bottom, and it really looked like Hocevar was going to do it, and he just got a weird bump and lost control, and a wreck happened on the final lap. Thank goodness, NASCAR, and I will get in the grades after we finish up the Daytona 500. I am very happy that they did not throw the yellow. Usually, they're the type of, oh, we see somebody wrecking, let's go ahead and throw the yellow in the race. But going into turn one, they had that wreck. Everybody was off the track. It didn't seem like anybody hit anything hard. It didn't really show anything. It just, a couple cars got hit and spun off the track. And I was sitting there thinking Chase Elliott was going to win. They were going to throw the caution. They didn't throw the caution. I was like, well, What was it? Zane Smith pushing Chase Elliott, or was it somebody else? It was Zane Smith. So Zane Smith was pushing Chase Elliott. Tyler Reddick gets a huge. If anybody has listened to our show before, you understand that I do not like Riley Herbst in the 35. And boy, oh boy, does he get an assist for the Daytona. He better get half of a ring, okay? Because he pushed the absolute crap out of the 45 and punted the 9 out of the way, and he wins the Daytona 500. Riley Herbst was like, hey.
Clobbered everybody.
Yeah, Riley Herbst was like, hey, buddy, if you can get past the 9, I'll go ahead and wipe the entire field out for you, so therefore you can guaranteed win. So true, tip my hat off for the 35 team. Thank you, Riley Herbst, for doing that. Obviously, he does not mean to wreck the entire field. So he's definitely not in the good standings with the garage as of right now with most of the guys. I know Brad Keselowski called him stupid in his post-race interview. But yeah, Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500. There has not been any news coming out. I have not got a Twitter update from Bob Pockris. I believe it's official. He is the Daytona 500 winner, which is amazing. This guy, I guess we'll go into the franchise stuff now. We'll talk bias stuff. This guy, be it him, this right here, this guy right here, he forced me into watching NASCAR again. Dale Jr. was my guy. And after 2017, I had a very hard time trying to get back into NASCAR. And no, it wasn't last year. 2 years ago? Or was it last year? Yeah, no, it was 2 years ago, because he didn't win last year. 2 years ago, he was like, dude, just watch the Talladega race. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And I didn't love it because everybody was just, being half throttle and everything. But this little diecast right here, number 45, he won, Tyler Reddick. And then I started learning about him. He is a couple weeks older than me. He is, 4'11". I don't know actually how tall he is. I think he's like 5'4". But he loves Slipknot. If you are watching on YouTube right now, and if you're listening, I have a bunch of Slipknot stuff. I have Slipknot tattooed to me. So, ding. He comes from the Junior Motorsport camp. Ding. He's a dirt track racer. My family used to race on dirt tracks. Ding. He raced for RCR. He's back-to-back. Well, I guess I could say it. He's back-to-back Xfinity Series champion. Ding. So, and now he races for Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. And again, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a Cubs fan and a Bears fan and a Hawks fan and everything Chicago besides the Sox. Screw the Sox. But Michael F. Jordan, like, come on. Like, why can't, like, you can't get any better than that. So yeah, I'm glad I woke up and watched it. That would have sucked if I just woke up and like, who won? Oh, Tyler Reddick won. All right. But you talk about your heart rate beating at like 60 because you just woke up and then you just start watching the race and you just 70, 90, 160. Like, oh my God. Like, I probably got a noise complaint from screaming as loud as I did. The diecast has already been pre-ordered. The championship hat has already been pre-ordered. So I am going to say this. Going into this year, and me and him have talked about this, going into this year, I was not excited about NASCAR. I was not excited about racing. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just my busy life, my busy work schedule, just, me not being happy where I am in life right now. But boy, oh boy, Daytona 500 winner. I've seen my favorite driver win a Daytona. This specific diecast with the giant bear bond, okay? He won the Daytona 500 in 2014, and now Tyler Reddick won, and I'm very, very happy. And, yeah, So should be the points leader now. And I'd be
Yeah.
happy if they say, hey, we're going to go on strike. Tyler Reddick wins the championship. I'd be happy right now. I'd be on cloud nine. So, how does
You know who
Miss
wouldn't be happy is
Handicap Brad
sorry, go ahead.
Keselowski? How's Handicap Brad Keselowski doing?
Handy Brad. He needs like a little handicap sticker hanging from his rear view. I think that'd be a nice touch. Interior guy needs to do that. Yeah, getting down pit road, and then Michael Waltrip, Crip walking on the grid with him. You know who's not happy? We'll get in Brad in a second. Connor Zilic wrecking the entire fucking field in stage two. As they were talking about him, they were like, "Oh yeah, the prodigy, that he could walk on water," and then it's like, And, dude, I couldn't believe that he didn't kill Allgaier that first time they touched, but then he washed up and hit him a second time. I don't know if he had a tire going down or what, but something funky happened there because I'm a Zillage guy. I was at the Gateway race last year in the Xfinity Series, the then Xfinity Series, where Zillage won. I'm a Zillage guy. I got nothing against him. Jesse Love's best friend, but yeah, I was just going through the stage two highlights before the show, and I was like, that needs to be touched on. That was a big wreck. Took out a lot of cars. I think that might have been where the Austin Dillon Chase Briscoe incident might have happened. Yeah, it was. So yeah, like you said, Briscoe's going down pit road sideways. My only thing that I'll give Austin Dillon a little bit of credit. I'll give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I don't know if he wanted to turn towards all the people behind the pit barrier. I don't know if that's something that's like an unwritten rule in real life stock car driving. I have no idea. I've only ever been in a sim, but I'm not sure if they're like, "Hey man, don't ever aim towards the people." And I'm not sure if that's a rule because that was my only train of thinking. Because like you said, he was like, "Hey, what's cooking?" Slammed right into the other side of the other Bass Pro car, and they even mentioned it like, "Damn, if you're Johnny Morris in Bass Pro Shop, you don't want to be seeing that picture right now." But I'm gonna go back and actually watch that because I got to pull it up right here, and I'll let you know what I find because that was an interesting wreck. Because you would have think that would have been kind of avoidable if you're Austin Dillon.
Yeah, and
Just taking
of
a look
course
here.
we can't show it on stream, so he's gonna do a play by play and kind of go through it for anybody that is listening on the podcast. We can't show or play any NASCAR stuff, unfortunately, because NASCAR is money hungry.
Yeah, and unless they want to partner with the 645 show, and they would love to give us passes, and we will do whatever they want on their behalf to promote the sport. But what happens here, right? As I'm watching right now, we have the 10 of Ty Dillon in the lead. Coming off turn four, we have Ty Gibbs on the bottom lane, Zillage in the middle, and we have the 40 of Allgaier up at the top. So Zillage is three wide middle. Coming off of turn four, they're well off the banking, heading towards the breaking point for pit road entrance. And Zillage just washes up just 2 feet and hits the left rear of the 40, and it causes the everyone behind essentially to wiggle. So he the 40, hits the 40, and
Ball.
then there's just that next gen, you know, I should have Cam Newton did the big wiggle, and then everybody gets Ty Gibbs gets sent up into Zillage. So Zillage comes up, hits the wall, big wiggle. Everyone behind Gibbs hits him, causing a big thing. Chase Briscoe, look at him right now. Chase Briscoe takes a hard left, like he's just like it's almost like all-star qualifying in Charlotte back in the day. He takes a hard left, is sliding sideways, and there is a moment where I think Austin Dillon could have gone more left, but he also may be thinking that Briscoe himself is going to go more towards the inside wall. I can kind of see where when you're not sure and there's a bunch of smoke, I could kind of see where you would just almost get like iRacing, where you're like left, right, left, right, left, right, and you just kind of guess wrong by guessing the middle, and the guy didn't go anywhere. So that was just watching that wreck right there. I'm trying to go through the play-by-plays here, let anybody know anything. Yeah, big wreck on lap 91 here, just before halfway. This is where Justin Allgaier wrecked everybody. We're Allgaier people around here. We're not here to slander Allgaier. We're junior motorsports guys. We love it that they made it to the show. But there's a huge head of steam here coming from the 11 of Denny Hamlin. There is a massive run on the outside, and Allgaier checks up. This is coming into the trioval. Hamlin has a huge run, has Blaney behind him, has Kyle Busch, Cindric behind him, Kyle Larson behind him. Big, fast train of cars on the outside here up by the wall. And Allgaier is kind of in the middle and can't really decide if he wants to block and take it or what. He just kind of got caught looking in the mirror for a second too long. Like I said, Hamlin and those guys are coming way too fast. So Hamlin gets to his right rear, and he's still making the decision of I'm going to come across and block this, and he just smears him into the wall, which is unfortunate considering everything we talked about with Denny Hamlin. But just kind of smears him into the wall. Denny Hamlin gets sideways. The 34 gets sideways. Big wreck. Kyle Larson's involved. Logano's involved. Everybody. Big licks for Kyle Busch. It's just kind of a easily avoidable wreck, and you don't really see mistakes like that happen from guys like Allgaier. And he took the blame in the post race, infield care. He took the blame for it, but yeah, just big wreck. Tore a lot of cars. It took up Bowman's car, like I said. Logano, Gilliland got involved, and yeah, I'm watching again here. I don't think that he thought Denny was gonna go up to the wall as far as he did. Like Denny made it real skinny, and I think that Allgaier thought he was gonna cut him some slack and just get behind him, and just that is not really how it works. There's 15-mile-per-hour difference, but just going through the big wrecks there, that was a really big one. It took out a lot of good cars.
Yeah, that I remember watching that wreck, and I just was very confused. And was it a spotter thing? Was it a driver thing? And sure enough, it was a miscommunication between the spotter and the driver of Justin Allgaier. Sad to see him not finish, because that I'm being a junior motorsports guy, that really sucked. But I wanted it to touch base. What did you think of the race as a Brad Keselowski fan? As we'll get into the franchise stuff, and then we'll unveil the grades, and then we'll talk about iRacing, and we'll go from there. As we're hitting almost the hour mark here, we're trying to go about an hour 15, hour 30 every show. You can watch us at 6:45 Eastern every Sunday after the Cup Series. But as a Brad Keselowski stan, where do you... Oh, he's changing the hats, ladies and gentlemen. He changed the hat. Big move, big play. As a Brad Keselowski stan, where do you stand on how the race went for Brad Keselowski, calling Riley Herbst a stupid idiot? And it is now official. I did check. Bob Pockrass did confirm Tyler Reddick is your Daytona 500 2026 champion.
Well, first of all, congratulations once again. I mean, enjoy it. Every second of this, enjoy. Incredible. I think
It
that's one
took
of those
Dale
rare
Earnhardt
occurrences.
20 years to do it, and Kyle Busch it hasn't done it yet. Hasn't
Still
done it.
hasn't done it. Yeah, no kidding. And this little guy from California who likes Slipknot and probably has an anger issue, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take my anger issues out to the track. Hey, I think he's even said it. I think he's even said it.
I mean, him and his wife did have a breakup because of his attitude. But yes, continue.
Okay. And
He's a little
for
ginger.
for that team, it's all right. It's hey, they went through the famines. They pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. It's a whole thing. Um,
Not the Lucky Charms.
they're magically delicious. As a Brad fan, I loved today because it's first time I got to see Brad really in a race. We didn't see him in the Clash, broken leg tings, and he was up there most all day. I had a great time watching him. It was super awesome to watch the Castrol with the Biffle #6 go around. Thought he had a chance at the end, man. I really did. He even had a chance coming to the line if Herbst didn't get up in the wall. He had a huge run, and there was a blimp angle that showed Brad getting shoved. All the chaos was happening, and he almost had a run, but then Herbst comes up and got him into the wall. But yeah, glad he's all right. Glad he didn't have any more leg injury or anything after that. But I had a great P5. We'll take it. I told my girlfriend who was watching the race with me when Kyle Busch got loose and came down and hit Brad and Brad able to save. I said the difference between last year and this year is that would have killed Brad. That would have hit him into the wall, DNF. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference.
Are you
But they
saying
want
the
to have good luck this
titanium
year.
rod in his leg is making him stable?
Yeah, I think so. Is it in his right leg? Is it in his
I
right or his left?
that we were trying to figure that out. I was with the Mystic Racing League group watching the race, and we could have figured it out. I thought it would be the left because he has the cane on the left side, so he's putting the pressure to kind of just
Yeah,
on the cane. But I might be wrong.
yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. Um,
Which doesn't matter if
car
it's
can't
his
look
left
bad.
leg or right leg because he's not going to use the brake at Daytona. I mean,
Yeah.
he's known to not hit the brake.
Hey, 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 hey.
I thought he had his cane and pushing the gas pedal with the cane in the car.
That's
In
funny.
car camera, you.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, legit. Dude, no, great run for RFK Racing. I mean, they're in the top. They were in the front most of the day. Chris Buescher was able to have a good comeback, and he was sent to the back for wrecking in his duel. So they built that car back from scratch and was able to run some good laps with it, and I think led a few even. Maybe it came close to leading a few, but uh, yeah, I enjoyed the race. What do you make of the pod? What do you make of that podcast? What do you make of the broadcast? What do you make of the Fox broadcast today?
So yeah, let's get into the grade, shall we? You are watching my screen, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the 645 show report card. Obviously, you see the grades already. I'll break it down on why I gave certain things, certain categories, certain ones. So we have racing, paint schemes, broadcast, officiating, and then an overall grade. Racing, I'm going to grade it a B plus. I thought based on how the previous Daytona 500s and the super speedway racing at Daytona and Talladega, not really Atlanta because Atlanta is a different kind of super speedway. Um, it would have got an A if they weren't saving fuel like how they were. I still believe that they should get rid of the stages and it just let them go green flag to checkered. They shouldn't have any stage breaks. But the reason why it's a B plus is because of that, because of the how the fuel saving kind of just backed everything up. I loved how they were being aggressive, making it three wide, staying two by two by two by two. That was really cool. Not really a lot of wrecks, which was awesome. I don't really like seeing wrecks, but I'm going to be judging racing strictly on how entertaining the racing is, not wrestling, and not necessarily how the broadcasting portrays it. I'm going to be watching how the cars handle, how hard or how easy it is to pass in certain areas. Is it aggressive racing? Is it is it entertaining to see these guys handle these cars? So B plus, like I said, love it. Paint schemes. To be honest with you, I was just having a struggle trying to figure out what the fourth one was going to be. So paint schemes. I mean, obviously, everybody has some type of paint scheme that they remnants of, like the Black 3 or the Dale Jr. Bud or the Jeff Gordon Flames. The 21 of the Wood Brothers. So there's certain paint schemes that we gradually like eye popping. I thought there was a bunch of great looking paint schemes, great looking cars. The Robin Hood, I love the bright green, yellow, neon that the 67 and the 23 have. There's not really any paint schemes that I didn't like. I know there's certain people on Instagram and social media that will say, give their top 10. I'm not going to do that. Paint schemes, A. I'm going to give it an A. Reason why it wasn't an A minus or A plus or anything, just because I there wasn't any bad looking paint schemes, but there wasn't like, wow, look at that paint scheme. That paint scheme's awesome. I think the best looking one was William Byron's. I like the red, white, and blue flames. Broadcasting. How I'm going to judge this. Do you have my attention? Am I going to fall asleep? I fell asleep, so automatic 1 point deduction on broadcasting.
I
So
almost fell asleep.
I've been saying this. Mike Joy, sure, you could still be in the broadcast booth. Clint Boyer, he tries to be the funny, entertaining, wow, look at this, guys, kind of clown of the broadcast. Kevin Harvick, no emotion. It sounds like he doesn't even want to be there. I really liked Dale Waltrip, Mike Joy, and Larry McReynolds. I really like that. When we go to Prime, Dale Jr. And Steve Letarte and Lee Diffie, I like those guys. I think Lee Diffie, you could literally sit down and watch paint dry and have Lee Diffie commentate how the paint is drying, and you'd be entertained. Broadcasting, Fox doing Fox things. A lot of commercials. You would see them talk about going 3 wide and how aggressive it is, and then like, hey, here's a Sonic ad. I don't really care. I want to see what this racing is about. It's like Fox literally had the button to push of, hey, we're going to go to commercial when the most exciting thing is happening on the TV. So that was really, really annoying. So C- on that. Plus, like I said, I did fall asleep during the early portion of stage 3 officiating. Last year, a lot of people were complaining on how inconsistent the cautions were being called, how inconsistent people are getting penalized. Right hooking, left hooking, it's bad. You can't hook people, but yet people weren't getting penalized. People weren't getting suspended like NASCAR said they were going to do. Officiating, A-. I don't have an issue. I think I should have gave them A+, but there was a couple things. Do I think there should have been a couple cautions? Absolutely. Not Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson stuck in the grass, but I'm glad that they didn't call a caution. At the same time, glad they didn't call a caution at the end. They get an A- on me with the overall grade, averaging all this out, B+ with the racing, the paint schemes, the broadcasting, and the officiating. I think it would have been an A if the broadcasting was better, but I think, in my own opinion, broadcasting is probably going to be the highest for Fox moving forward.
I completely agree. I echo every one of your grades. The broadcasting, they have Trucks is also on Fox, if I'm not mistaken, and
Yes.
they went to commercial with 10 to go in the truck race, and it's starting to get egregious with the commercial stuff. Really excited for Amazon Prime whenever they get whatever it is. Was it summertime they get it? So I think whenever Amazon Prime gets it in summertime, I'm really looking forward to that because
Around the Coke
Fox,
600.
yeah, around the Coke 600 around May 20th or 30th, something like that. Because Fox is really getting old with their it copy and paste every single year. I mean, like you said, you have Clint Boyer, who's the funny guy, and that could work if Harvick wasn't such a wet sock of a personality. Like you could tell, like Harvick is so unbelievably anally focused. Like that guy could probably never laugh. Like getting him to laugh is probably like one of your biggest achievements. But so I think Clint Boyer could work in the booth if you had another funny guy. Like Larry McReynolds can sometimes be a funny guy and get down with the humor. I think that could be a great dynamic, or go the complete this is super serious route with another Harvick-like guy. Because I think they're trying to balance, peanut butter and jelly. You have Mike Joy, legendary voice, that guy, his voice a mile away. Then you have funny Boyer, which sometimes I do want to laugh, but Harvick not laughing will make me not laugh. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, if Harvick's not laughing, I'm not going to laugh at that. So then it becomes a weird, like, you can almost sense the awkwardness in the booth. Like, they're almost, like, not that good of friends. So it's, like, kind of an interesting dichotomy, but I agree. Lee Diffie, and when those guys get it, this broadcast grade is going to be A+, like, every single race that Prime has it, if I had to bet.
Absolutely. Yeah, that does it for the NASCAR portion. We're gonna take a small break, and then we'll talk about the iRacing stuff. So we got to shout out some iRacing stuff, and yeah, enjoy this amazing video.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Alrighty, well, iRacing stuff. If you don't know this already, if you're looking at the screen, you see that beautiful, handsome man right next to me. Where, fumble? He is driving that beautiful Fanatic, for Fanatec, not Fanatic. Godly, steering wheel right in front of him. We are iRacers. He's been doing it since 1964. I've been doing it since 2018. Technically, my account says 2018. I've been doing it since 24, 23, 23, 24, something like that. I don't know. And we're in a league. We're in the Mystic Racing League. So, yeah. Off-season stuff. Let's talk about that first. We won't bore you too much with stuff that happened during the off-season. You won like 20 races during the off-season for the Mystic Racing League. How did that feel?
Yeah, I had a good off-season mixer run there for a minute. The off-season mixers in the Mystic League was just kind of random track and car combinations that were oval or NASCAR, and I think I ended up getting 6 out of the 7 or 8 races I ended up doing. I got 6 wins, which was cool. Gave me false confidence for going into the regular season for the Mystic League, but yeah, like you said, we're iRacers. We do this. This is our passion in a sense in terms of racing. We know we're probably never going to get a chance to race in a real car, so this is what we do. And if you're an iRacer listening to the show, this is the part of the show where if you're interested in the Mystic Racing League, hit us up. If you're interested in iRacing in general, hit us up. We can help you and point you in the right direction in any direction, especially with paint schemes. But yeah, the off-season mixer was really fun. I remember we had a Gen 4, I believe, at Kansas that I ended up doing well in. But anyway, just shouting out your home track. But yeah, off-season stuff. Daytona, 24 hours. Do you want to give a 2-minute rundown of what happened for those of us who?
Long story short, we got disqualified. That's it. That's it. So I'm gonna be completely honest, and Aaron's probably gonna be upset with me because he has not heard this yet. I did not practice for the Daytona 24. You see his face. If people are listening, he's like taking a drink, and he's like, "What?" Yeah,
I almost spit my drink
out. Listen. So for the people that don't know, my back basically exploded during the off season. I had to get immediate surgery for a herniated disc that ruptured, and I lost all passion for racing. When that checker flag hit for the Phoenix race and Denny Hamlin lost and Kyle Larson won, not that I was mad at NASCAR. I just was like, I don't have the drive anymore. I didn't do much of the mixers. When I did, I was in a lot of pain. when we were discussing the Daytona 24, I was more of a car owner than a driver in a mindset, if that makes sense for anybody. I wasn't really paying attention on driving. I was more paying attention, how are we going to get a paint scheme? What is it going to look like? Yeah, we're going to get stream shirts for everybody, and then we got copyright infringement for the stream shirts. And just trying to focus on everything besides racing. And when it came race day, usually I would get the butterflies. I would get the, oh my God, like, here we go. Like, yeah. I didn't have that emotion. I didn't have the nervous. I wasn't excited. I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't frustrated. I wasn't anything heading into that race. I just had no emotion, which was kind of weird. And even up to this point, we've done the Daytona race, you done the Phoenix race, and then we just did Las Vegas. I still have yet to have that emotion. I haven't had that like butterfly feeling or the excitement or the ball tingling. So it was just when the Daytona 24 came, I just was like, I'm gonna waste a whole day of my life to this. And sure enough, I was right. We actually wasted more than a whole day, because we started the 4 o'clock split, and we got to what, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and we had a incident with one of our drivers, Christian Barnes. He went into the backstretch Le Mans chicane, and there was a GT3 sitting there, and instead of just waiting to see if anybody was going to pass, he just started rolling, and Christian got clipped and went head on into the wall. Ended our 4 o'clock split. We agreed to do the 1 o'clock split, but my happy ass was asleep, didn't register the team. So then we had to do the 6 o'clock split, and I stayed up, so therefore we didn't miss it. And yeah, I regretted every poor decision I made staying up. But we registered. Everybody was on the same page. I mean, everybody, all four drivers, Jeff, Derek, Aaron, Christian, we all agreed on it. Nothing was brought up like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm going to be doing another split, yada, yada, yada. I start the race, still no emotions. At this point, I was just sleep deprived and wanted to just sleep. And Aaron became the car / team chief, making the decisions to pull me out, because there was a certain time where I was making a lot of mistakes, and it was because I was exhausted. And everyone did good, except when we got more than halfway, Christian Barnes decides to tell us, hey, I can't get in the race, meaning that you guys are going to get disqualified because I am racing for another team right now. And that balloon that was already kind of just like filled with sleep deprived, frustration that we already missed 2 splits, we got wrecked out of 1. We're in a split where we feel like we're not going to win anyways. All that just kind of filled up and exploded. And when I got out of the car, I muted my mic, and it's on stream. I walked out, and I started screaming at the top of my lungs, because we were really racing for nothing at that point. The reason why is because all 4 drivers have to have a certain amount of hours in the car in order to officially be registered for the race. If we register 4 drivers but only 3 actually race, we are deemed disqualified because of share ride, or fair share, or fair ride, whatever they call it. So in reality, we finished 7th. Or no, reality, we finished 46th, but we should have finished 7th. So that was a kick in the dick, in my opinion. And I still have not let it go. Because we did waste we did waste like 36 hours of our lives for nothing.
But we had fun. We got to hang out.
Yeah,
We got to hang out with the boys, I guess.
I just
I
was
had fun
not
at
happy.
the end of the day, but yeah,
Yeah,
that was yeah. So that was our off season.
yeah, yeah. Then we had so we are in the Mystic Racing League. They have a shit ton of leagues and series that go on throughout the entire year, from dirt racing to IndyCar to NASCAR Truck, O'Reilly and Cup. They do street stocks. They do late models. They do you name it. They got it. They probably have a foot race league if they could. But they are throwing everything at the dartboard of trying to figure out what would be entertaining for everybody. It is broadcasted. They have an ARCA series. I forgot about that. Everything's broadcasted. Everything is up on YouTube. Mini driver stream. I stream. Aaron streams. But I am a full-time driver in the trucks and their Caswell Glass, which is their O'Reilly series, and I'm part-time in Cup. Aaron is part-time in trucks, but full-time in their Caswell Glass and Cup series. Excuse me. We'll kind of run down Daytona and Phoenix, kind of short, brief that. And then we'll get into Las Vegas, and then we'll call it good from there. Daytona, single car qualifying. I don't know what we need to do. Me and Aaron qualified terribly. There was a lot of talk about wind coming out of turn 4, where it just was like hitting a brick wall. I was up 6/10, and I was technically I was up 1/10, about a tenth, maybe 2/10 on the pole at the time. And I was the last car to qualify, and I came out of turn 2, and I just saw it slowly just going down, and I was like, goddamn wind. But we qualify. I think you qualified in the 20s. I know I qualified 46th or 44th, something like that, out of 60 drivers. So that was terrible.
Yeah, we're missing something in the wide open department. I say it every time, but I don't know if our gas pedals need looking at. I don't know what it is. We got to put some more tape on the front end, but we always you do well at plate tracks regardless, and you race well, and you had a good Daytona weekend. I not so much. We got some bad luck, but yeah, we were lucky to get out of there with what we got.
Yeah, in your duel, you got wrecked, and then you did a retaliation under caution. I'm kidding.
That's right. No, that's not true. That's right. For the first time in a long time, thanks for bringing that up. Total rookie mistake. Plate track coming around turn 2. This guy's ass is right in front of me. Pause. But he's flying as if the pace car is in turn 4. Like, he has no inkling of slowing down. He bails off like a fighter pilot in pursuit, and I'm like, open my eyes, and then there's the entire field, like literally like bowling pins. Like, when it's like Wii bowling and you have like that mini game where it's like 100 pin one. That's what it looked like. I had every like 40 cars in my windshield. I was like, oh! So I slammed on the brakes. I locked it and I turned left. And like the guy that hit me, who I was following, was to my left. There was a gap, and then every person to ever live. And I was like, okay, I just got get through here. And then I got suspended for the night for. I got parked for the night for intentionally wrecking because I thought I hit him back on purpose, but in reality, I just made a rookie mistake, which I never do.
This is the second year that Mystic Racing League has been on iRacing. So this year has been very, very strict on everybody. So they took it as retaliation, which I mean I could see that. I don't think Aaron would ever do that, but in their eyes, and I had to explain that to Aaron. I was like, in their eyes, they deemed it as retaliation. You ended up finishing like 27th because you got disqualified. Or parked, excuse me. I finished second. Our teammate Wade was pushing me. He finished third. And then we had the truck race. me and Adam Holston. Everybody that watches my stream knows Adam Holston. Him and his beautiful panty dropper machine. He and I were working really well together. You could go back and watch it on V Speed on YouTube after you're done watching this and listening. But yeah, I mean, me and him, we were like Siamese twins. You could not take us apart. Like it was just he was pushing me and I was pushing him, and I should have finished in the top 5. I was joking with Adam after the real life NASCAR Daytona 500. I told him, I was like, if you would have won the truck race, we just created the Riley Herbst Tyler Reddick wreck, because I was sitting 5th and I wrecked the entire field behind me. And Adam Holston went from like 15th and finished like 4th. And I finished 9th. Just a rookie mistake. There was a few cars on the inside and I was pushing the leader, and I just was trying to make a move to get the guy ahead of me out of my way and try to make a move to get a podium finish. And I just misjudged it and right hooked the guy below me, and rookie mistake. Then we went into the Caswell Glass Series, and I can't really remember all the things that happened, other than the setup just was god awful. We had our hands full. We were racing with like it was on ice the entire time. You couldn't really push. Anytime you got up or somebody got up on your right rear, you're shaking the wheel left and right, sawing it, trying to make it straight. Everybody was zigzagging throughout the entire time. You led some laps, I led some laps. We don't really have any other teammates in the Caswell Glass, but me and you were working together. For the first time, and I'll let you talk. For the first time, usually we're the ones that go to the back and just stay in the back and try to avoid the wrecks. After racing the truck race and listening to Adam and listening to his strategy, I wanted to be up front, because what happens? Where does the wreck happen?
Like a third of the way in.
The middle and the back part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're up top 7, you're most likely not going to get in the wreck. So I was like, okay, let me get up to the front. And I was getting aggressive. I was making moves, and yeah. And then what did you see from the back?
That's a good question.
He doesn't know, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, I don't really remember that much.
Other than the setup was crap.
Yeah, other than it was literally a handful like the entire time, which is hilarious because every other track has been crazy tight, but Daytona was like ridiculously loose. Yeah, I don't remember a ton, honestly. It's been crazy how much ahead the Mystic schedule is. I'm still getting used to how far ahead the Mystic schedule is compared to real life. So I'm actually blanking, partner.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly where you finished. I could look it up. But
Mid-level speed weeks. I know Xfinity I finished like 20th or 19th, and I think for the Cup race I finished 9th. I think. But I remember the Xfinity race. I uncharacteristically went for stage
31st.
Yeah, 31st.
You finished 31st. You qualified 27th. Stage 1, you finished 27th. And stage 2, you finished 29th. So I assume you got wrecked out. Yeah, you did get wrecked out. That because I remember you started watching something. You were watching the UFC fight because we raced on Saturday. You were like, okay, well, I'm gonna go watch the UFC fights. And that just, in my opinion, I had no teammates. I know we could have worked with Wade and Adam, but I knew they weren't at the end. They were gonna go and do their own thing, kind of leave me out. So I was just let me dictate and kind of figure out what I need to do to stay up front. And We ended up finishing second. We almost got the win. I was pushing Zachary King at the end. There was a huge wreck that happened below us that kind of got me up into position. There was, I can't remember who it was, but there was a car, and then you had Brandon Willard, and then you had me, and then you had Zachary King by himself. And I felt like if I pushed Zachary King enough to kind of get some momentum, I could swing around and pass all three. And then his teammate, Christian Barnes, he pushed me really hard, and then I pushed Zachary King, and he got loose, wiped out the inside line. But he ended up passing and winning the race, and I finished second. So I just wish that I hit him hard enough to kind of go off and kind of wreck the inside lane, and I go take the win. But I'll take a second place finish. And then we had the Daytona 500. That was a very, very long race. They decided the Cup Series won't get any, what do you call it, fast repairs anymore. So if you wreck the car, you wreck the car. And that kind of made me figure out what I wanted to do, and I still wanted to stay up front. And I stayed up front most of the race. I finished fifth. I'm assuming you don't know where you finished, so I'll look it up for you.
I finished ninth, 500.
Yeah, you did. You qualified 27th, stage 1. You finished 32nd, stage 2, 24th. I qualified 6th, stage 1, 7th, stage 2, 4th, and finished 5th. So, yeah, I mean, finished top 10, both of us. Very proud. Anything you want to say about the 500, or you want to go to Phoenix? Because that's your bread runner. I was not here mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yeah, and auditorially, you were getting your head blown off.
Yeah, it was.
In a good way. Yeah, I just remember in the 500, I remember, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard. Like, when you have these kind of races, it's almost like a big NIS race, but there's more communication. Like, I'm still new to that aspect of people being in, like, Discords with 4, 5, 6 people talking about other drivers and teaming up and stuff. So that's kind of a new experience. And plate tracks is kind of where that is a big deal. So that was interesting. But yeah, both of us finished in the top 10. I mean, we'll take it. He could easily have been finishing 27th type of day. So we'll take anything we can. Phoenix was fun. Led some laps there at Phoenix. Had a pretty good time there. Was able to kind of figure the setup out. I think I have maybe a slight advantage in the Cup Series compared to maybe everybody, but maybe 4 people, like the top alien guys. Is because I've been doing these NIS races a lot the last handful of years, and I'm actually going to stream the 500 tonight most times.
In 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes. So sometimes I'd use the VRS setups, and the Tier 1 stuff mechanically in the garage is similar to what the VRS was. So it's it handles similarly enough. Like the iRacing default set has a certain feel to it. Open setups have a certain feel to them. Like there's a certain feel to each one, and I feel like I'm able to extract a lot out of it, and I'm looking forward to helping my teammates with this the rest of the year, because now we kind of know what to expect. We can kind of base strategy. Being 40 or 60% fuel at some of these places, it's like, okay, we got to maximize certain things and adapt to the setup, because what the setup is the setup. You're going to be stuck with it all night.
Yeah, I was out celebrating my birthday. I was in Oklahoma City, watched nothing more, and then came back, saw Kansas City's show, got to take a shot with Johnny Hawkins. That was awesome. Apparently I called Aaron, don't remember calling him. And then I ended up joining the Discord for the league because there was a couple people. I don't remember that. But yeah, had a great time. And And then we had Las Vegas last week. We'll kind of run through this because we're at the hour 33-minute mark. So we appreciate everybody watching and appreciate our sponsors. We had the bull ring at the Truck Series. It is a very, very short track. I finished 16th. Should have finished in the top 10. It was very, very one lane, just bottom the entire time. You couldn't make a run on the outside. Only way you were going to make a move is if you hit somebody out of your way. And I got left hooked kind of middle of the race and kind of just was trying to bounce back and ended up getting in the top 10. I only pitted once. I had 144 lap old tires and couldn't really drive off the corners like everybody else. But the last lap, there was a wreck that happened in front of me. I got around it, but I missed my braking point and got wiped out. It was completely my fault. Finished 16th. Then Las Vegas for the Caswell Glass Series. I remember we went like 15 laps before the green because broadcast was having issues, and I was like, I really just want this race to end. And race went green, lap 2, clobbered into somebody because there was a huge wreck, but I had a fast repair, and boy oh boy was I debating on using it or not, but ended up not using it. I don't know how our stages went. I'll look it up. But it was very, very. You qualified 18th, finished 7th and 4th in the stages, and you finished 6th. I qualified 18th, 10th in stage 1, 11th stage 2, and I finished 10th. There was a situation where they had to penalize somebody. Somebody didn't register properly, and they took him completely out of the race. So I actually finished 11th, but before the penalty and after the penalty, I finished 10th, and you finished 5th, but actually finished 4th. So, 2 top 10s. I know we talked about our season going forward, that our main goal for every single race is to finish in the top 10. I think that is a really good, realistic goal, especially with the competition. I just got to find the drive. That's my main focus. I'm kind of leaning towards this guy right here to kind of help me find that drive and find that passion again. Because if it was my choice, I would be done with iRacing and everything, and I'd just be like, all right, yeah, I'll be the behind the scenes guy. I'll help you guys as much as I can. I'll find the people to build a good team. But I'm relying on this guy right here to help me kind of find that passion again and find that drive. Because, like I said in my own Twitch chat and Twitch stream, it's not because I'm racing poorly. It's just simply I don't have that excitement anymore. I used to, last year, I would go to work and be like, dude, I'm so excited about Daytona, or I'm so excited about Martinsville. Like, I can't wait. Can we just get to the race? And I'm like, let me get through work, and then I got to go home. I got to go walk my dog. I got to take a shower. I got to get my stream up. I got to figure out something to eat. What am I going to drink tonight? Am I going to drink something with electrolytes? Am I going to drink soda? Am I going to drink a Monster? Am I going to be up all night? How's the race going to happen? I don't really want to race. How's the setup going to happen? I don't really like a tight car. These setups aren't the greatest, which you'll hear more and more about most likely throughout the entire season, that we do not like, me especially, I do not like the setup. It's a custom fixed setup that we get, and I'm not going to name drop anything because I have respect, but it's just, I wish, coming from a tight race car guy, I want it to be freer. I'm not saying I need it to be wrecking loose. I want to be able to drive off the right rear of the car, and you're more depending on the right front, which I get. What we'll get into it later in some other episodes, but I get why they're doing it. but you're kind of handicapping other people that are trying to actually have a good race.
I agree. I believe that. Like I said to you in a text message, I said I think your talent has surpassed a tight race car. I think you're now at that point where you understand the shortcomings of what tight feels like. Where you're like, fuck, I can't really pass anybody, and this kind of blows. It's like, yeah, you're just good enough now to be on the limit in a good way. So like, yeah, this is why a lot of the top guys love a loose car where they're like the whole time, because not everybody can do that. So it separates a lot of people that aren't as talented versus just plowing into the corner and turning left and waiting on it. Everyone can do that, but I think we're gonna have to figure out another way to get to the front, whether it's pit strategy, maximizing pit entrances, maximizing qualifying, whatever it is we got to do. I think to overcome the tightness, because once you're up front, you're going to be up front probably all day. Like you're probably going to be in the top 6 to 7 the whole time, and yeah, it's just going to be getting up there and staying up there.
Yeah. Brief little rundown of the Cup Series. I did not do great in the Cup Series. I'm more of a part-time guy. I have a charter. I wish I knew that if I didn't race 3 races in a row, I would lose my charter. I would have bought the part-time, not chartered, whatever. So therefore, I didn't have to worry about it. I could just show up whenever I want to show up and, race the tracks I want to race. But Vegas was circled on my thing. I like that car track combo until I realized it was a tight race car. Las Vegas should be a loose race car, not a tight race car. You did great. You qualified 9th, both stages 3rd, finished 3rd, consistently 3rd the entire race. I know there was a couple times that you were frustrated with some drivers that you were like, okay, like, Derek, you're my bowling ball. Go and, not wreck them, but kind of just get them out of my way, and I'll just follow you, and then I'll pass you again because I'm just that damn good compared to you. But
I feel like a pretty boy running back and letting my fullback do all the work, creating the hole, and then I'm just a pretty boy running back that averages 7.8 a carry. He's amazing. But no one looks at the fullback. It was necessary. I was getting driven really hard by guys that I don't have a problem getting driven hard, but when it comes to when you know what I'm talking about, and everyone who's raced has experienced this, when somebody doesn't let you go, but they let other people go. And it's like, okay, something's wrong here. I've never pissed off the person we're talking about. I have no reason to be getting held up by you. And then Derek's coming here. He's like, hold on, bro, Beans. I got you.
To clarify for anybody that didn't watch the races over the past couple days, I'm not afraid to put, and I know Aaron's not afraid to put it on somebody's door, but I'm not afraid to put it on somebody's door no matter what lap, what corner, what track. And I know people will watch this and be like, I mean, yeah, he's right. He does put it on my door going into a corner. I'm going to do it back. Go ahead. I don't have a problem. I race the way I race because I want to get up to the front and I want to win the race. I'm not here to sit behind somebody that's going 15 miles off the pace and want to block people because they want to block people or whatever. I don't really know the situation. But yeah, I mean, I saw Aaron was getting held up by certain drivers, and like he said, I was like, "Do you want me to go?" You were kind of hesitant at first. You're like, "Yeah, go ahead." And as soon as I passed you going into 3, I was like, "All right, follow me." And then we go into turn 1, and instead of cutting it down straight to the apron, I would hold them up and then diamond it, and then I would come back up and then dirty air their nose and slow them down or get them in the wall, and then Aaron would just like, see ya, and it worked perfectly. I don't know what it is on why I do that. I know when you spot me, you're like, oh, hey, they're up there. Okay, all right, okay, all right. But yeah, I simply I don't know what it is. I just that's what I do. And you know, if you have a problem with it, race me how I race you. So, um, yeah, you like I said, you finished third. Um, great day for Dam. Other than everybody else, I wrecked my car. Adam wrecked his car. Wade wrecked his car. So you're the only one that kept it good. Thanks for being the priest of the group. Um, so, but yeah, we have next week we have Streets of Detroit and Coda. So Streets of Detroit for the Truck Series, Coda for both the Castle Glass Series and the Slim Chicken Cup Series. Not looking forward to it, but you sit here, you say that we're road course ringers.
I don't know about ringer.
I don't know what you say, but you say we don't give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. So, you want to say anything before we get? We have 15 minutes before we have to get into the NIS. So hope you're registered because I'm about to register here.
Yeah.
But anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't got a whole lot left, guys. I just want to shout out everyone who was a listener last year. I know we didn't do the full schedule. It's kind of hard, I was in somewhat of a temporary living place, an apartment that had a lease expiring, and it was just had a couple things got in the way a little bit of being able to do the show full time or do it every single race. But me and Derek are really looking forward to this, and I mean, what a better start to the year than one half of the 645 show winning. There you go, right there, 645 show. Tyler Reddick winning at Daytona. So, um, yeah, I'm really enjoying the league stuff too. I mean, I've kind of stopped caring about iRating as much, which was a pursuit for a long time, for a good handful, 4 or 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years. Was going after iRating. I wanted to be a professional iRacer. There is just an element of competitiveness, and I wanted to be the best in the world and make money doing this. And once you got to a point where you see these guys that do this for a living and they hate their life, like they spend 70 hours on a setup, they do it for peanuts, they get paid super little. And seeing the reality of some of the Pro Series stuff and the current climate for Pro Series iRacing esport, it just didn't. It wasn't what I thought it was. So I've been enjoying iRacing just as the service, whether it's the leagues or whether it's officials just having fun. I haven't cared about getting ragged, haven't cared about iRating, but I've been really enjoying the Mystic Racing League, enjoying racing with Derek and the boys again. And catch us. Are you streaming the 500 that you're about to do?
No, I'm probably not. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to stream the 500. So those of us watching on YouTube right now, go ahead and follow me on Twitch at Aaron Bomb Racing, and follow him at Derek Jewett too on Twitch, and you'll never miss one of our live videos. But I'm just having a good time. Today's race was fun. Last night was fun. The Xfinity or O'Reilly Series. Sorry, I know I said I wasn't going to make that mistake, but I think it's been a good. I don't know. I'm starting to get a little excited. Are you getting a little excited?
I'm very not excited. I'm just very overjoyed that Tyler Reddick is your 2026 Daytona 500 champion. That's right, we're a champion.
Especially with what happened with congratulations, especially with what happened with his son last year.
Yeah, having the health issues he had and not knowing if he's gonna make it or not. I think it was heart surgery or kidney surgery, something, some type of health issue, and I've never had a kid, so I can't even imagine having that happen, and I'm just happy that he got it, so
The conspiracy theorists are coming out and saying that Denny Hamlin, that his dad got sacrificed by Michael Jordan so that Tyler Reddick would win the 500. Just like when Michael Jordan's dad died so he could win his last ring.
don't know about that one, Chief, but yeah, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just call it there before we get more into the conspiracy theory. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, all of the sponsors. We'll be back next week. Catch us on Twitch. Follow us on Instagram. Hit that like button. Hit that follow button. Hit every button that you have to hit besides the dislike button. We'll be back at 6:45 Eastern next week, we promise. This guy over here was running late. Don't blame me. But yeah, we'll get into the Daytona 500 for the NIS. Go follow him, and we'll be back next week.